And the second main topic today is given to us by Barry Downey, who writes, "Hi, John. Well, it went by fast, but we are already at the midway point of the year." It's true, we are. I know a lot of the bigger prestige and Oscar films usually come out in the second half of the year, but I was wondering if you'd mind sharing what your personal top 5 favorite films of 2019 are at the halfway point. Thanks, and bring on the filthy. All right, thanks a lot for that, Barry. And yeah, it is. I remember when I first saw this message, I'm like, it's not the it is the midway point. We're at the halfway mark. I mean, give or take a couple of days, but we're at the midway point of the year. This year's flying by. This year's just absolutely flying by.
It is.
There have been a number of disappointments in the theater this year, but I'll tell you what, we've been so wrapped up, I think, in talking about the disappointments that we've been overlooking a lot of really good movies that have come out this year. And we're only at and you're right, Barry, it's a lot of the bigger, higher profile, prestige and Oscar-worthy films don't even come out till later in the year. And I think already at this point, we've had some damn good movies and some damn good time at the cinema. Let me give you a couple of my, let's say, honorable mentions before I get to my top 5. I love Shazam. I loved Shazam. I loved it more than most people did. But I just think that movie is a delight and awesome. Didn't make my top 5 of the midpoint of the year, but I really did enjoy Shazam. I got a real big kick out of Ma. There's a few other films like that. But anyway, here's my top 5. And Rob, and then I want to hear from you about yours. These are my top 5. Remember, this is my personal list. You guys, there's not a single one of you out there whose list will look exactly the same as mine, okay? So don't get upset that I don't put your favorite film on my list, but here's mine as of right now. All right, my number 1 film of the year right now is still Booksmart. To me, it's still the best movie of the year. It resonated with me. I found the heart of it was just overwhelmingly present in the film. This was a film that just had so much heart and so much charisma and so much personality in it. And so much, like when the characters were feeling something, I found I was sitting in the audience. And it's a couple of teenage girls. And I was able as an audience member to feel really strong senses of empathy. And I just bought it, to me, still the number 1 best film of the year. I don't expect it'll be my number 1 film of the year by the time we get to the end of the year. But right now, to me, it's the best film of the year. Coming in the number 2 spot, and it was close between 2 and 3, but for me is Toy Story 4. I still prefer Booksmart a little bit, and I give it a slight edge over the number 3 spot. But Toy Story 4, you know what? When we did our spoiler discussion of it the other day, as I'm talking about it, I just realized more and more how much I appreciated this movie on such a deep, deep level. It is the deepest of all the Toy Story movies. I believe it's the funniest of the Toy Story movies. It's probably got more emotion than any of the Toy Story movies. Still, nothing compares to that incinerator scene in Toy Story 3. And I still think Toy Story 3 overall might be the better movie, but Toy Story 4 is just remarkable to me. It is my second favorite movie of the year so far. For me, again, it was real close. Just like number 2 and 3 were really close, number 3 and number 4 were really, really close. But I'm going to give the edge in the 3 and 4 spot to Avengers Endgame. I'm going to give Endgame my number 3 film of the year. It is everything that comic book movies as a genre have been building up for. While I do not believe Endgame is the best comic book movie ever made, Endgame represents the promise of what comic book movies could deliver comic book fans on the big screen, you know? And they did it incredibly well. I saw it 4 times in theaters. I'm not going back to watch it for a couple of post-credit scenes, mind you, but I did see it 4 times in theaters. The moment it becomes available on home video, even though I know all I have to do is wait a couple months and I'm going to get it for free on Disney+, don't matter. The moment this thing's available on July 30th, I am buying my digital copy of Avengers Endgame, and I cannot wait. It comes in at my number 3 spot. At number 4, which was a real close race with Endgame, is just John Wick. Now, I do believe overall Endgame was the better film. But if you had told me after I saw Endgame that there would be a movie with action that I found more exciting than Endgame's action, I would have said you're crazy, even though I knew a John Wick film was coming. John Wick 3, the action, it's just all action, and it's amazing, and I loved it, and I ate it up, and I've only seen it twice in theaters. I got to get back out before it leaves theaters and see it again. And then coming in my number 5 spot, I keep saying it's no Bohemian Rhapsody, but it is a wonderful film in its own right, Rocketman. Terrific performance by Taron Egerton in that. It's a movie that the way they tell the story, kind of non-linearly and stuff like that, it draws you in. It's a little fantastical musical, kind of like Moulin Rouge was. So it's really a little bit more like Moulin Rouge than it is like Bohemian Rhapsody. But it's a wonderful film. I'm not even a big Elton John fan. And I walked out of that going, wow, you forget how much music that defines our culture that Elton John did. And so on so many levels, I just thought it was fantastic. I give it my number 5. So I know this is a lot of very different types of films. My number 1 is Booksmart. My number 2 is Toy Story 4. My number 3 is Endgame. My number 4 is John Wick. My number 5 is Rocketman. Oh, and I should point out this. While putting my list together, I purposefully decided that I would only do films that got wide release. Oh. Because, and that's not something you asked me to do in the email, I understand, but I decided if I'm going to put up movies, I might as well include the movies that you would have, if you're watching this, you would have had an opportunity to see. And not every movie would most people around the world have a chance to see. So I've just a little asterisk there that I've limited this to the films that actually got wide release that anybody could have seen at any time. So those are my 5. Rob, let me put it over to you. It's been a really interesting year so far. Some highs, some lows. What right now, midpoint 2019, stands out to you as your favorite 5 films of the year?
Okay, my number 1 favorite movie of the year is a documentary.
Oh, really?
Yep. Apollo 11.
Oh, right.
Apollo 11 was all about it. It's basically a You Are There documentary about the first moon landing, which celebrates its 50th anniversary this year. I'm a huge space freak, and it's an astonishing achievement because for the very first time, there was 70mm footage that they shot in and around the launch that had never been seen before. And they released the film in IMAX. And over the course of my lifetime, I think I've watched every single film that's ever been released from NASA or on the moon landings, and it's jaw-dropping. Absolutely jaw-dropping. It's out on Blu-ray now. You can see it. It's on CNN. CNN co-produced the film. By far my favorite movie of the year because it showed me things that I hadn't seen before. And, of course, the moon landing is near and dear to my heart. So that was number 1 for me. Number 2, Endgame. Just for all the reasons that you said. I loved Endgame. It's different than Infinity War, but an astonishing achievement. My number 3, another dark horse candidate, Fighting with My Family.
Oh God, I meant to make that one of my honorable mentions.
Fighting with My Family. This movie. I was very surprised. Yeah, I was not exactly in my wheelhouse.
It makes me so happy that you listed that one. It really does. I love that movie.
Fighting with My Family. A movie that was delightful.
And had no business being any good.
No,
had
absolutely
no business being any good.
Delightful. And based on a true story, so it's kind of a docudrama. My number 4 movie is a Netflix movie, I Am Mother, which is
with Hilary Swank.
With Hilary Swank, Oscar winner Hilary Swank. I've gotten to the point where I just expect mediocrity out of I Am Mother. I was really taken with the film. It's what I call a bottle movie. It sort of takes place in one location. Weta Workshop created the robot in it. Really, really enjoyed it. Now, and my 4th and final, my fifth place thing is I'm cheating because I haven't seen Toy Story. I haven't seen Booksmart. I love John Wick, but I'm not going to put it there. I think it's the most astonishing achievement of any kind of filmed medium, whatever, of the year is Chernobyl.
Now that is cheating because that's a
Chernobyl.
TV miniseries.
It is a miniseries. I know, but you know what? It's the best thing. It's actually the best thing I've seen all year. I put it on top.
Screens.
On screens, and I look at it and I'm like, I keep going back to that because to me, if it was a movie and it feels like a movie that would have been made in the 70s, I can't believe that we have it, and it's had unprecedented success. Now, there's other movies like the things that I like another Netflix movie, Always Be My Maybe.
Yeah, delightful.
I didn't think I was going to like that. Now, I didn't want to be one of those guys, but now there's talk, but these are my favorite things that I've seen all year. But to me, Chernobyl represents the greatest achievement in direction, the greatest achievement in acting of the year so far. And it's my favorite thing. But as a movie, there's other things I could put around there. Like, I love the hell out of John Wick 3, but I can't put it like on a best of yet list. I can't do that otherwise. But Chernobyl and I Am Mother didn't let me down. That was the thing. They were things that really astonished me. Now, I haven't seen Toy Story 4, which I think I'm going to love because probably I loved all the Toy Story movies. But that's where I'm at now. That's where my head is at. But Apollo 11, I can't stress enough. You know, if you can watch it on a big screen, because even in HD, the Blu-ray is beautiful. And, oh.
All right, guys. Well, let's put the question to you. It's the midpoint of the year. What are the 5 best films you guys have seen this year? Go on, step up, put your money where your mouth is, jump in the comment section and list out your top 5 favorite movies of the year. We want to hear what you guys have to say. All right. With that.